Hey there everybody, and happy Video Monday, Teshia here. For this week's video, I am giving a special shout out to John. John is a client of mine who I had the absolute pleasure of working with last week, and basically what we did is I designed a very specific routine of postures for him to do to help strengthen and open his body, his own body. So I often work with people for yoga on a one-on-one basis, and instead of taking them through like a yoga class or a yoga series, what I do is I take them through a series of exercises to figure out where their specific body is holding and where they are restricted in terms of their range of motion, in terms of their strength, in terms of their flexibility, etc. So I did this with John, and this video is essentially John's personal video that he can take to do in his hotel rooms when he's traveling and stuff. However, I thought I would make it public because I know there's a lot of you that can probably benefit from these postures too. So basically, John's personal yoga practice is going to be structured around strengthening the core. He's going to have one exercise for core. We're going to be doing a specific yoga pose that's especially beneficial for opening the hamstrings. We're also going to be doing one that's amazing for opening the upper back. Who can't benefit from that? And then also, there's two more, one for inner thighs and one for releasing the spine and especially the lower back muscles. So this sequence I'm going to basically just take you through now in real time so that you can try it, and John, so that you can have this at your fingertips whenever you want to follow along with me as opposed to doing it solo. So the first pose we're going to be doing is plank. Most of you will be familiar with it. John, you were as well, but I want to make sure you remember those certain things we were talking about with regards to the form here. So the first thing you want to make sure of, guys, is that you're not back like this and that you're not forward. We're going to make sure that our elbows are in one line with our shoulders, okay? From there, you're going to imagine that you're sending your heels to the back of the room. Try not to drop down. Don't stick your butt up. Engage your inner thighs and find one straight line across the body. And we're just going to hold here. Eventually, John, you want to work your way up to 1 minute. You guys can try that at home as well. But for now, we're just starting with 30 seconds. So we're just breathing in and out through the nose. We're engaging the inner thighs gently, and we're sending the heels to the back of the room. Keep breathing. Make sure that you don't shift your weight forward or backward. Keep your eye focused straight down. That should help you just to keep this nice and stable. So I haven't really been counting, but I imagine we have about 10 more seconds left. We're just looking for an approximate length of time here. So holding a few more breaths, you've got it. Good, and now drop to the knees and gently for a moment just push back into child's pose. Good. Now we're going to come forward and we're going to go into our side plank. So elbow, again, in line with the shoulder. The feet are stacked, the body is long. We're going to make sure that when we do this, we're not letting our bums dip back, and we also want to make sure we're not letting our hips sink down, okay? So let's keep those things in mind. Here we go, and lift the hips up. So lifting the hips up and keeping the hips forward is the key. The arm can be here, or the arm can be lifted. Hips forward, hips high. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. Really ground down through that arm, through the shoulder to stabilize here. All right, keep breathing in and out. Last couple seconds. And that's probably good. Okay, let the hips come down. Just make sure this is still rolling here. All right, other side. So we're making one straight line with the elbow and the shoulder. We're going to lift the hips up, and we're holding. So again, hips not back, hips not down, hips forward, and hips high. Feet stacked, breathing normal. I see I've cut my head off here with the camera. I apologize, I didn't have a videographer, so I'm doing it myself. Breathe here, okay. Keep breathing, keep your hips up. Don't let the hips sag. Last few seconds, breathe in and out. Slow the breath down, last breath, good. And then drop the hips. Cool, so that's the plank. Really good for getting that core super strong. Next, we're going to move into dangling. Wonderful opener for the backs of the legs. And John typically will probably be doing this after his workout, after his morning run, so this is great for that. So bend your knees as much as you need to here to start. Make sure your legs aren't totally screaming at you, they're not totally freaking out. From here, think of relaxing through your spine, relaxing through the arms, and then take your arms, or rather your elbows, in the palms of your hands. And then you're just hanging out here. We're going to be here for about 2 minutes, you guys. So you want to slow the breath. You want to breathe in and out through the nose. Good idea to close the eyes just to stay present in this moment and to really just stay with what you're doing. As much as you can, you're letting your body sink, or rather, you're letting your body dangle to the floor. Now, these are the things I want you to keep in mind, okay? So if your legs are completely freaking out, bend the knees more and or shift more weight into the heels. If you feel like you can move a little deeper, straighten your legs and or shift more weight toward the toes. But remember that we want to stay here for at least 2 minutes or so. So don't force yourself to a place where you're really uncomfortable and to a place where you have to retreat from the pose. Don't move into a space where you feel like you cannot stay. Okay, so we want to find an edge in the pose. We want to find some intensity, but nothing that's so intense that we cannot stay here for the duration of time that we want to be here. It's by holding the pose for longer and breathing and really focusing on releasing or relaxing into the pose. It's through these mechanisms that we're really able to release the deep stored tension from the body. Not just the tension in the muscles, but the tension in the connective tissues, or rather the joints, the bones. So breathing and relaxing into this, everybody. Hope you're doing that, John. Keep breathing. Keep breathing in and out. Really focus on using this time to de-stress. Focus on using this time just to be as present as you can be in this moment in time. Not the one coming up in an hour. Not the one that happened this morning. Just this moment. All right, we're almost done here, everybody. Maybe you can straighten the legs a little bit more. Maybe you can shift a little bit more weight into the toes. Otherwise, if you need to, you can bend those knees a little bit more. Take away some of that intensity if it's feeling a little bit too much. All right, last few seconds here. Take a few more deep breaths in and out. Great. And remember that the breath is so important when you're doing that one because you're upside down the whole time. So bring your hands to the floor now and very slowly bend one knee and place the shin down. And then bend the other knee and place the shin down. And again, move into your child's pose for a moment. Let the hips gently rock back and forth just to release the hamstrings and to release the lower back. All right. So the next one is called Melting Heart. And I've done this in videos in the past. Some of you may have seen this before. It's an amazing opener for the upper back, especially for the areas specifically between the shoulder blades. So if your body tends to be really tight in those areas, please go very slowly here and listen very, very carefully. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to start towards the back of the mat and you're going to send your bum to your heels, okay? You're going to open your arms into a really wide V, okay? Especially, again, if you know that you hold a lot of tension in the upper back, you want a really wide V with the arms. From here, you're going to start to creep your arms forward so that you're bringing your chest forward, and at the same time, your bum is going to go up. Try not to let your body move away from the thighs or you're going to find it hard to keep your balance here, but you want to keep, your, basically your lower belly touching with your thighs the whole time. You start to creep your body forward. You want to bring your chest forward. Now, if this starts to feel too intense, put your forehead down or try placing your ear down, okay? Eventually, however, we want to bring our chin out and our chest down. Again, that's probably not going to happen for a lot of people right away. So open the arms and just come down to where you can. And then while you're holding this, all you want to think about is softness. So you want to think of softening between the shoulders. You want to think of relaxing through your arms. You want to think about relaxing through each and every fingertip, okay? So you're getting as soft as possible here, everybody, through the upper back, allowing the heart to melt to the floor over time. And eventually here you'll also be able to bring your arms closer together, but don't worry about that right now. For most of you, arms into that wide V and then forehead down. So continue to hold this here. Remember to keep those arms wide if you need to. If the arms start to freak out, open the arms more, as much as you need to. Again, we're staying here for a pretty good amount of time, so you want to make sure that you can maintain the pose. So really softening between the upper back, melting your heart to the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Staying with it best you can. Very, very normal when doing these postures and holding for a long time in stillness. Very, very normal that the mind become active. So just keep coming back to this moment. Keep coming back to your breath. And by doing this, you're kind of practicing a form of meditation as well, which has many benefits. Keep noticing the noise in your mind, and again, just keep coming back to this moment. Just this moment. Really soften through those arms. Soften with the fingertips. Don't grip the floor at all. And take a few more breaths. Feel with the inhale the belly expand, and on the exhale feel the belly gently fall in. Again, slow breaths in and slow breaths out. Last 30 seconds in this one. And a good amount of time for the previous pose and this one would be about 2 to 3 minutes. So again, if you're not doing this with the video, side planks for 30 seconds, working your way up to a minute, 2 minutes and dangling, or 3 minutes, and then 2 to 3 minutes here as well. All right, everybody, preparing to come out. Take a breath in and out. And very slowly, because it's normal for things to feel vulnerable, very slowly just start to send your hips back, sliding your arms in And then from your lower spine, gently roll yourself up. And then maybe just take a few seconds to move your arms around a couple times. Move out any stagnant energy that you may have just opened up and cleared away. Cool. Hope this is all making sense so far, John. Next one is legs up the wall, and we're going to be doing that in straddle. I noticed from doing my my little tests with John that he had quite a lot of tension in his inner thighs. So this posture is going to help with that a lot. So how you start is you come right up against the wall. So your bum is against the wall, and then you send your legs up the wall and you lie back. You want to just gently dip the tailbone towards the baseboard of your wall. And then you can do whatever feels nice with your arms. You can relax them to the floor. You can keep your hands on your belly and focus on your breath, or even a hand over the heart and a hand over the belly can be nice. I like to do that myself. And then what you're going to do, guys, is just slowly let those feet fall down the wall, okay? So try not to let the toes turn in. Really let the feet turn out. And you're going to really start to feel this here in the inner leg. This might be as far as you go for now, and you're just going to, again, go back to your breath and maintain this. Eventually, the feet will slide all the way down when you get super flexy. But again, no rush with that at all. So just come to a place where you feel some intensity. But again, nothing so intense that you can't stay. If you go to a place where your body is feeling overwhelming intensity, your body's going to contract to protect itself from you. Your body isn't going to trust you, and we never want that, especially in yoga. You always want to basically accept where you are and trust that by doing that, things will really start to shift and expand and open. That's how it works. So here we are now, legs up the wall in straddle, and we're just going to hold this for 3 minutes. Okay? We've probably been here for a minute and a half already. Eventually those legs will come down. And what you might find as well is that where your legs end up in the pose is different from where they started. So after about 40 seconds or a minute, you may be able to test it out, and maybe your feet, for example, will go from here and they'll slide down a little bit more. And then over time, again, that just will continue to shift. So again, we're focusing here on our breath. Focusing on breathing into any intensity that we're feeling in the body, perhaps feeling some, again, in the inner thighs here. So sending the breath to those areas, releasing and relaxing through them. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Staying with it, really releasing and relaxing into it. Breathing into the belly. One thing you could try is taking a breath into the belly and then bringing the breath up into the chest. And then exhaling from the chest all the way down into the base of the belly. So again, breathe into the belly and up into the chest, and then exhale from the chest and then all the way down into the base of the belly. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And so often we're rushing around and we're doing a million things, and we're really not taking the time to stop and just simply focus on the breath and make sure that the breath is moving smoothly and fluidly. Okay, guys, last few seconds here. We're going to prepare to move. Again, when you move out of these postures, please do so with lots of mindfulness, but extra slowly as well, because it's very normal that the muscles feel vulnerable after these long holds. Okay, here we go. Let's slowly start to bring our feet back together. Go slowly, and then bend the knees and just place the feet flat on the floor. Maybe just let the knees hug into the chest for a moment. That usually feels pretty good. You can rock back and forth a few times across the spine. And then very slowly drop your knees to one side and take yourself back to hands and knees. All right. So now we're at the last sequence. Now this whole thing, once again, will probably take less than 10 minutes. So try to do it every day. The next and final pose of our sequence here today is, oh, you can see my moving boxes there. I'm moving soon. Reclined spinal twist. So I'm just going to move over a little bit so you can see. Hopefully that works. Okay. So for this one, we're going to bring our arms to the floor. Okay, palms facing down at least to start. And we're going to imagine that there's Velcro at the back of our arms. We really want to keep the arms down. From there, bring your knees towards the chest. And very slowly, while keeping the shoulders grounded, slowly bring the knees towards the right. If it feels like the legs won't rest to the floor, you may need to lower the knees a little bit. Otherwise, higher will be a little deeper. So now the knees are resting on the floor. Let the knees relax. Let the legs relax. Let the feet relax. Okay, now we're going to take our gaze and look towards our left hand, our left arm. Now we're just going to breathe into the belly, and we're going to breathe specifically into the lower back here. This pose in particular offers an amazing release for the low back muscles, and if you have any back pain going on, this is the one for you. You could do it again, as John will be at the end of a workout. You could also do it at night before going to bed, just to make sure that you've really released all those muscles that may have been activated during the day. You can also, guys, take your left arm and maybe try raising your arm a little higher than the shoulder height, your left arm, the one you're looking at. You could also open the palm to the ceiling. These things just might help you find a different degree of stretch that feels effective for you across the chest, across the front of the body. Breathing in and out. Making sure those shoulders stay as grounded as they can stay. And make sure the legs are as relaxed as possible. Breathing into any areas of restriction, any areas of tension that you might feel, perhaps in the back, perhaps across the chest, across the arm itself. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Take a few more deep, slow, long breaths on this side, and then we're going to move on to the other side. All right, everybody. So slowly, gently now bring the knees through center. If you want to, reach up and give those knees a little hug. Again, maybe a little rocking and rolling across the spine. Good, and now we're going to bring the arms back out. Again, we're going to imagine that there's Velcro at the back of the arms. And this time we're slowly going to just shift our knees towards the left, letting our knees reach the floor, and then we're going to take our gaze towards the right hand, the right arm this time. Again, we're going to bring our attention here back to our breathing. We're going to let those knees rest to the floor, remember, and if you want to at this point, that right arm can either stay straight out from your shoulder, or if you want to, you can, again, play with the positioning of that arm. So you may wish to try raising the arm a little higher than shoulder height. And while you're doing this, please try to keep your head relaxed too. Really relax into these poses. Again, we don't want to restrict or constrict against them. If that's happening, you're pushing yourself a little bit further than perhaps your body's ready to go right now. And try not to do that. You have the rest of your life to move deeper. No big deal, no rush. Maybe raising that right palm to the ceiling. Maybe finding a different stretching sensation that feels good across the chest that way. Again, think relax through the legs. Breathing into the low back. Really giving the body a lot of love in this sequence. That is the key thing here. Not forcing, not pushing, but instead surrendering and allowing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And by the end of this, you should feel a lot more relaxed than you did before you began. As by doing these postures, we're really tapping into the sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system. We're really helping the body to move out of that fight or flight state and instead into a nice calm, low cortisol, happy, peaceful state. Last couple breaths here, everyone. Nice and slow and deep and long breaths. Oh, okay. Slowly bring those knees in through center. Take a moment, maybe again, just gently hug the knees in, rock and roll a few times. And then slowly help yourself up. And that's basically how that's gonna go. So, oh my gosh, now look at my hair, holy moly. Anyways, I hope that this is super helpful to you, John. I trust that it will be. I trust that it's the perfect prescription for your body and with what's going on for you. Try to be consistent. Consistency is key, especially with yoga. See if you can do this sequence once a day. Again, a good time would be after that morning workout that you do, or maybe if it works better for you sometimes, just do it solo before bed or in the afternoon, or run through it whenever you feel super stressed out. And again, will hopefully help just to bring everything down. All right. I hope to talk to you soon, John. I hope to see you again soon. Again, thank you so much for your interest in working with me and for your interest in learning from me. It was a total pleasure. And to all of you out there who are watching this, I hope that this sequence feels good for your body too. It's something that anybody can do. It's not just for one person, of course. And we all tend to hold in the areas of the upper back and in the hamstrings. And, it'll probably hit home for a lot of you. So enjoy, and happy Video Monday, and yeah, don't forget to get your stretch on. See you soon, everybody.